While I may be considering a number of things, I do know where I land on this. The United States boasts arguably the most innovative healthcare system in the world. However, innovation comes at a cost. And while our system leads the world in advancement, it leads the world in price too. According to the World Health Organization, the United States ranks 37th in overall health amongst other countries, while ranking number 1 in overall cost. That's nearly double the cost of most other first world countries. Infant mortality is nearly double that in other comparative nations, while the U.S. ranks 19th overall in obesity, with more than 33% of our population listed as obese. In addition, with all of the brilliance behind our system, we lose more of our citizens to health based on heart disease, diabetes, and cancer than we do all other causes of death combined. Despite what you might think, American citizens don't actually consume more health care than the rest of the developed world. We just pay more for it. And why? Healthcare in the U.S. has become like a drug. In a world of addictions inclusive of caffeine, tobacco, opioids, and social media, we are a society influenced by our modern dependencies. It wasn't always this way, and dependencies aren't always addictions. I depend on water and air in the same way that to live life to its fullest, I depend on healthcare. However, over the past century in the United States, we have perverted the way in which healthcare is delivered, accessed, financed, and consumed. As such, the healthcare industry, acting the role of a drug dealer, has made pawns of us all. The good news is we can break the addiction and reestablish a healthcare system meant to positively impact the lives of our citizens. It's just going to take a little bit of compromise and a little bit of common sense. If you're on the right, you likely subscribe to the belief that a free market system, uninfluenced by government and unregulated, is the answer. And if you're on the left, you likely believe that a single-payer government-run system just might do the trick. Regardless of where you fall on either of these beliefs, the solution just might lie somewhere in the middle. But where? With a healthcare system that makes up roughly 1/6 of the U.S. economy, has the largest single lobby in Washington, and is the fastest growing sector within our economy, how would one re-engineer the healthcare system without crashing the entire economic engine? Yes, healthcare itself is terribly complex, but healthcare challenge is actually easy. There's only one major factor driving the problem: cost, or dare I say, profit. Let me be clear, I'm a free market capitalist. I believe our economic system in the United States is the greatest on the face of the earth, and it is that capitalistic mindset that drives our innovation. But when it comes to a person's health, blended with another's ability of profit margin, we find ourselves in a conflict of capitalism and care. This is where common sense solutions must come into play. We must balance the cold, clinical response of business and the heartfelt emotion tied to our health in order to cure the ill, no matter the cost, to find a practical yet compassionate solution. We need price transparency in our system. An intravenous bag, also known as an IV, costs less than $1 to produce, yet is billed on average more than $500 per unit in the United States. Yes, simple math tells us that's a markup of more than 54,000%. Welcome to healthcare. And yet I'm provided and billed for that IV bag without ever being consulted on its cost or even its necessity. You should not be able to force me to buy a mystery product without first knowing the value and the price. I would never buy a car by driving it off the lot without first understanding what it was going to cost, only to have you bill me later for it. And yet, that's how our healthcare system works. We have laws that regulate almost every transaction within our economy, and yet we're seriously lacking proper oversight in the healthcare space. We need a little Uncle Sam. It's not likely these for-profit organizations within the healthcare system are just going to wake up one day and choose to reduce their margins. We need the government to regulate, but not run the healthcare highway. We need to set speed limits on these transactions, not to price set, but to protect the consumer. We deserve a fair and transparent marketplace. Capitalism works when I buy one product over another based on its quality, cost, and a dozen other factors that each consumer gets to determine. But patients today have no such options in healthcare. That isn't fair, it isn't right, and it must change. Finding myself somewhere in the middle, I'm Seth Denson.